All right, I'm going to give you all an opportunity to come in. You can let me know whether or not you can hear me. We might have to try to do this a couple times. I have no idea what's been going on with my live, so come on in. Come on in the room. Ooh, I'm gonna let you all come in. Please let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Janelle. Denise, you hear me, okay? All right. Well, I guess for those of you, and I'll be so honest with you all, I've seriously tried to avoid any bit of drama. I don't even think you all truly understand how much I've tried to avoid it. But at this point in time, clearly graceful isn't good enough. So one thing I will do is I will always clear my name. So it is time for us to have this conversation. I absolutely did receive a promotion at work. Contrary to popular belief, I do work. I did see a lot of comments pertaining to how I'm able to vacation and work. I work from home. I can work from any corner of this earth as long as I have Wi-Fi. Therefore, and any of the family members that I met with or anybody of the sort can attest to the fact that while I was on what you all deem as a vacation, I was actually still working. So that's one thing. Let's clear the air on that. In addition to that, I don't call it a vacation because I take real vacations. You can look back if you're on my friends list. And just this past April, I took my children to 4 different countries. That's a vacation. So let's be clear on that. I don't need any Freedom Fund money. I have never needed any Freedom Fund money. I'll be clear on the fact that I put up proof of the fact that I started the Freedom Fund. My children do need me, without a doubt. And I am all for stepping away when necessary, when the cause is genuine. I am not for stepping away from my children, my household, and anything of the sort when the people surrounding me are not. And that's just what it is. I absolutely believe in the cause. I lost all faith and confidence in the people. And that's why Sheena, Shyla, whoever you want to call me, both are correct, decided to remove herself. There is no way in hell that I will be associated with BS, period. So I think we should take this back. The reason why Jedediah and I have had major issues lately is because where do I even start? Every decision that has been made as far as this organization is concerned has been a decision that has been mutually agreed upon. Whether he brought it or I brought it, and we both have brought it, we've agreed on it. Unfortunately, I am the one who received the backlash behind it. As far as Mal is concerned, and I'm going to just go through the list. As far as Mal is concerned, at no point in time have I ever attempted to bash her or anything of the sort. Never would. It's not even that important to me to demean or defame anybody, period. Like, it's just not my agenda. I didn't get into this for that, okay? It was mutually agreed upon. And I'm going to say this in totality, across the board, everyone on the original team, everyone across the board were complaining to me about Mal. I can show you negative posts. I can show you negative posts that she accepted. I can show you negative posts that she posted herself after being told not to several times. It was also me who stated that I did not want to get rid of her. I felt like she was genuine. I felt like she was genuine, and that there had to be something else that she was better suited for. Jedediah came to me while we were in North Carolina after he first met her, and he said, well, what do you think about her, working very closely with the gentleman who is over the North Carolina organizing thing? And I'm like, awesome. I think it's an awesome idea. We sat down, we discussed it, whatever the case is, she was okay with it. If you didn't read that long post explaining it, whatever the case is, I suggest you go back and read it, because I'm not going to continue to go through it. But long story short, when I had a conversation with Mal's issue was with two originals who we had already discussed, and her issue was with Jedediah. She basically stated to me that she did not believe Jedediah was genuine, that initially from on his lives he appeared to be one way, and in person he was something else. I told Mal, I said, I think you have him, pegged wrong. Like, that's not even in his character to be that way. So let me have a conversation with him. Let me tell, him what's going on. Which is what I did. Asked her to reconsider. Mind you, she disappeared days before the restaurant, had us all leave looking for her. It was cold as all get out in Atlanta. We are outside, unprepared for the weather, looking for her, thinking something happened to her. I was pissed. You don't do that to people. There were literally like 35 people in that restaurant, in that dinner, and the majority of them left out to look for Mal. So when I had a conversation with her, I let her know how upset I was about that, because you do not do people like that. At this point, there is absolutely no hope for reconciliation or anything of the sort, and I could care less, because you will not attempt to defame my character and then think that we're cool. Not going to happen. Moving on. Valerie. Valerie was never my issue. Valerie was Jedediah's issue. The relationship between Valerie and I changed after the Texas trip, when we got back on the airplane to head back to Georgia. She professed her undying love to Jedediah, stated that she was going to leave her children and her husband for him. She just needed, him in her life, and he needed her, and all of this other stuff and everything else. And I said to her, are you certain? Because I'm knowing that Val ain't Jedediah's type. He ain't his type. Are you certain? She said, yeah. When I got off that plane, I had a whole conversation with Jedediah, and I said, look, she does excellent work, but this is borderline scary. With everything that we have been through already with allegations, what we don't need is you being behind closed doors or alone with her anywhere and she stating that you did something to her. That was that issue. That's why our relationship changed. Not me. So we're going to air it all out tonight, because I am really, really sick and tired of people playing me. That's not going to work. There are literally 4 people, 5 now because I am telling the truth, that I expect and anticipate will have a very real issue with this, and at this point have an issue with me, and that's perfectly fine because I stand in my truth. In my truth. I've even heard some of you all stating like, I won't Jedediah or anything of the sort. One, check my track record. He's not my type. I don't believe I'm his type. Not looking for Jedediah in any romantic way, anything of the sort. Can't happen. Won't happen. Pushing forward, though. My only issue with Jedediah is the fact that this is going on and he has not cleared my name. Only issue. Everything changed with this presidency. Everything changed. I told Jedediah when he brought it to me, and I'm going to tell you why he brought it to me. I told him when he brought it to me that I didn't think it was a good idea, that I didn't think it was necessary to vote for president. I felt like he was the face of it. He was the individual who needed to go ahead and proceed with that. He stated, no, let's give it back to the people. Let's go ahead and let them vote. From the moment that I took off in that race, there was an issue. You could tell everything started to change. Relationships started to change. Whatever the case is, he felt some sort of way. By his own admission, he has stated to me, how do you think I felt having you hand me back something that I built? He believes he built it on his own. Without a doubt. He is the face. I don't need it. Didn't need it before. Don't need it after. Believed in the cause, though. So ultimately try to do my best to be for the cause across the board. I believe in that. I believe in that. Prior to all of this, Samantha popped on the scene. So this is 3 now. Samantha popped on the scene. 3 out of 4 leaders she attempted to gain access to. She literally went from person to person trying to gain access, all 4 of us. 3 out of 4 of us stated that Samantha is shaky. Something is wrong. Don't know what her motives are, don't know what her intentions are. I recognized her as being somebody who, well, let me say this. I realized that there are people who pray, and there are people who pray. P-R-E-Y. She's somebody who preys upon people. Okay? So, that's that. Wasn't just 3 out of 4 leaders who had an issue. There were 2 originals and 3 other people, including the 2 administrators who stepped down, who stated they didn't trust her, and someone who I deem as being the absolute closest person to Jedediah, who stated, don't trust her. So I don't trust her. I don't trust her. My spirit told me something. Everybody else said the same thing. Don't trust her. So that was that situation. I blocked all craziness coming from Samantha. However, I did realize that she was someone who worked, or at least she stated she did, for DCFS. And with that being said, when the Samaja case came along, I asked our researcher to reach out to her. Samantha went on some little tirade with the researcher talking about if Jedediah didn't send you whatever the case is, don't call me, or what, something to that effect. I have no idea. But when the researcher came back to me and Samantha reached out to me again, I said, look, I attempted to put you in contact with somebody, wanted to know whether or not it was okay for me to give her your number. Samantha told me that she already reached out to her on Facebook or something like that, and that, whatnot. And I told Samantha, me and Jed are a team. In the event that I tell somebody to come to you in regards to, you being a valuable resource, it's okay. Well, people name drop, all this, all that. Whatever. Samantha's whole goal was to cause some sort of division. Mind you, Jedediah is not dealing with her. I'm not dealing with her. Lamont, who I'm going to say this, is a good person. I believe wholeheartedly he is a very good person. He is not an issue in any way, shape, or form. He's surrounded by some foolishness, but he is a very good person. Moving forward, who do you think Samantha finds a doorway in with? Bingo. Natora. Natora believes Samantha can assist her in some sort of way. Samantha has promised her all of these great things as it pertains to her case. So therefore, this is Natora's ally. Natora and I never had an issue. Not one issue. First time Jedediah came to me and told me that all of this stuff was about to come out pertaining to Natora and her child. It was the first time I had heard about it. Didn't know Natora prior to all of this. Didn't know anything about her. Didn't know about her. And I wouldn't even be saying this if not for all the screenshots that I just received today, stating that Natora is attempting to discredit me and say that I am stealing money and all of these other things. And Samantha is doing the same. So I think it's only fair that we come completely clean on everything and what has been going on behind the scenes. But when Jedediah came to me the first time to inform me that this was coming out, I asked him, was there any truth to it? He stated no. I said, okay. He said that he believed that Natora should step down. And I told him that I agreed that we had just went through a lot. However, I don't think that it's appropriate for him I didn't think it was appropriate for him to tell her to step down because everything and all the allegations that came out about him, she had been very supportive towards him. She had essentially fought with everybody as it pertains to him, attempting to clear his name. It was not until the second time we had a conversation, and this was pertaining to an audio that came out that Natora's wife recorded. In the audio, and I'm not going to say verbatim because, I didn't spend time studying it, but I did hear it. In the audio, PJ states that Natora's whole motive for being a part of the Freedom Fighters was selfish. And that the only reason she joined was for her own case. Natora responds by stating something to the effect that if she wants to use Freedom Fighter money or the Freedom Fund for her case, then she can do that because that's what it's there for. That's not what it's there for. That's not what it's there for. And I myself had a problem with that. Jedediah had a whole conversation with Natora. I was on the phone with that conversation on mute. Samantha was there with Natora, and there was a very heated exchange. Jedediah told her that she needed to step down, that it was inappropriate, all this other stuff. Natora continued to state that she was not and yelled that it should have been justice for Natora all along. It should have been justice for Santori, all of this other stuff. Jedediah asked me, he said, would you please have a conversation with her, woman to woman. In that conversation, Jedediah stated to her that if you choose to step down, I will then come out and I will state that I back you and I support you. I back you and I support you on your case. So when I called Natora, I shared the same sentiments with her. But the conversation started out when I told her, look, I want you to know that the first time that this was brought to me, I told Jedediah that he shouldn't, ask you to step down because, when all these allegations came out about him, you were defending him, all this other stuff. She said, thank you so much. But the moment I told Natora that I, at this point, agreed that it was necessary for her to step down based off of that audio, she became angry, she became irate, and she was like, I just got to go. I got to go. I got to go. Me and Natora have not spoken since. Let me not say that. We have spoken since. But it's been all crazy. Except for when I saw her in Chicago, she was all smiles. I wonder why. I wonder why. Of course. That keyboard stuff, you know, whatever the case is. So I say all this to say that as we transition into this presidency that I told Jedediah I did not think was a good idea. I thought he should be president to begin with. As we transition into all of this, Jedediah tells me, no, it's necessary to vote for president. Because at this point, Natora is an issue. What he states is that what we will do is let them vote for president, meaning the people. And from there, he will create leadership roles, and Natora just won't have one. Jedediah, during this time frame, also told me that Natora previously turned on him. I don't know what she got on him. I don't know what the situation is, but he is seriously scared of her. He is. I'm not, though. I'm not. He is. I'm not. Okay? However, what transpired was, and what none of us expected, was when the voting began, I took off on his ass. Pew! Was gone. And everybody voted for me. I won. I won. His whole demeanor changed. Whole demeanor changed. And what I told Jedediah was, although I do at this point believe that you should be president, I am concerned with dictatorship. What I began to see was he had issues with people who do not idolize him. I don't idolize any man. Never can, never would, never would. I don't. You are not God. Not going to happen. So, now all these narratives, Mal, Val, Samantha, Natora, turn into a Sheena issue and not a Jedediah issue. Because it's very convenient for it to be a Sheena issue, for it to look like Sheena's the one causing turmoil. Let's be clear. I'm not aggressive. I'm assertive. There's a difference. I've worked in a lot of leadership roles. I currently manage within a Fortune 500 company. Anybody on this live, which I'm sure there are more than enough people who I've worked with within here, who can state without a doubt there is not a person who has ever had an issue working under my leadership. I'm going to say again, this was not a Sheena issue. And I'll be damned if anybody makes it a Sheena issue. The issue is, Sheena will speak the truth. Jedediah will behind closed doors. And then when we sit down to have a conversation with the individual, Sheena is the only person speaking the truth. Jedediah is quiet. So the conversation I had with Samantha didn't go too hot because I told her I felt like she was, what did I tell her? That she had an ulterior motive. We all felt that way. I told her that she was ignorant. She is ignorant. Conversation with Mal went exceptionally well, but then she had a conversation with Jedediah, and based off of whatever he told her, he then put her on live, knowing this girl was pissed off based off of the conversation that he told her, to completely defame me. Anybody else see that? Anybody else see that? Val has been completely quiet in this situation. I can only imagine it's because she knows I know the truth. I wasn't the only person in that house, but I didn't see anything go on in the house in Texas. But when I made mention of this to somebody else, who is one of the originals, so to speak, they stated that, oh, we saw that. I said, what did you see? Oh, well, she was all over him talking about he was her husband and all this other stuff. See, I don't pay attention to that kind of stuff because I'm not up Jedediah's ass. Never have been. Never will be. But it had been seen by other people. When I told Jedediah after I got off that plane what she had told me, he was like, so she was serious? And I said, she told you this? And he was like, well, she did have a conversation with me. Okay? But then when Mal steps aside and goes crazy and ape berserk, I'm gonna be PG-13 as much as I possibly can. At that point, he is now on a live when Val states that she steps down too, okay? Because she did text me pertaining to some craziness with Jed's assistant stating that she was my assistant as well too. Like she had a whole tantrum pertaining to that, and it was literally a joke. But that coupled with the fact of what I already knew, which was that she was crazy, I was like, okay, you gonna leave, then leave. So be it. Jedediah let that be my issue in the public. Jedediah let that Samantha issue be my issue. Jedediah never told Natura about our conversation, so that became our issue. So, at this point, in addition to that, he goes on live in the backyard while he's in Texas with Justice for, and I won't even say because I'm not going to bring that family into this. Not. In this live, he states he's cleaning house. Don't know who he's talking about. Have no idea. No idea. No idea. No idea. But what he states in there is everything that he could possibly say to defame my character. You all are posting negative comments within the group. Y'all are approving negative posts or something to that effect. Knowing that I'm over the group. Knowing that that's something that I have been like on top of. So you're basically stating that I am not doing my job. All of this back and forth, all this, negativity, and I saw this, and I saw this, and I saw that. Okay? Check this out. Have you all ever known Jedediah not to respond to somebody who has attempted to defame him or slander his name? I'm certain the answer is no. But my response to being called everything under the sun, and I would like for you all to go back and reread it. Please reread it. And I'm going to let you join. I just saw you post in. I'm going to let you join in a second. That's somebody else who knows me. No, he hasn't. Greer, Tony Lee, Lionel Harris, the list goes on and on. Asia, China, who else? My block list is so strong right now, it's ridiculous. And it's all people who have problems with Jedediah. But when I respond in a professional manner with just the facts, not one time that you all hear me say this be this or this be that or anything of the sort. Never did it. It's a problem. Nobody else paid attention to that. It's a problem. I'm the one that told him, can we please stop posting about, talking about these individuals who are bashing you? Because what happens is they go from 2 views to 2,000 views. You're giving them wings. What's the point? What's the point? Let it go. Let it go. But the moment that I try to clear my name, it's the problem. How can I be comfortable in that? How could I ever? Granted, it was the first day of the protest, which I don't know if you all noticed, but Jackson was the case that I brought on. I'm the one who went down and had the conversation with the DA. I am the one who put out all the information about flooding their phone lines and everything else. I asked Jared to go down to lead the protest in the event that we needed to do the protest, because he leads protests. But before that protest even started, we already knew what the DA had to say. We already know. Whatever the case is, granted, all that happened on the first day of Jackson's protest, but I didn't initiate it, and I didn't want it to happen, and it couldn't have been a worse day. You can ask that family how hard I worked with them to make sure that they got what they deserved. Worked extremely hard with them. Extremely hard. So in that video, though, it was an issue with me defending myself. It was an issue with Rena defending herself. It was an issue across the board. That entire video, I felt like, just completely attacked me. But why? Why? Because it's all an attempt to discredit me. And ultimately, this was never about me. So, I don't even know why I'm a topic of discussion, other than the fact that you felt some sort of way about me being in the position I was in. For your own personal ego, I'm the one who stated, we can have two national presidents. I've never had an issue working with anybody. I believe that we could truly work together to move this thing in the right direction. But clearly that is not what he wanted. So things started to turn very sour because I became very angry at the whole throwing rocks and ducking thing. Whatever the case is. In that video, there was the entire thing as far as negative posts. There was the entire thing about me defending myself. There was even some he wasn't accusatory, but the manner in which he said it, and I don't even have access to the Freedom Fund, so I'm about to get access to all of this. I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get that. Freedom Fund was never an issue. Never an issue. Jedediah is aware of the kind of money that I make. In all actuality, as we started to break things down, I was even told you should take something for yourself and just put it in as a stipend. And I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't need it. Why would I take it? If it's going to the cause and it's going for the cause, leave it for the cause. Absolutely not. The only time that I retrieved anything from there was after Lamont was arrested in Texas, and there was an issue with obtaining funds from the account because there is a cap to the amount of money you can pull out on Cash App. So anytime we go for a trip at this point in time, we ahead of time transfer money so that in the event that something happens, or for gas, or for whatever the case is, whatever we need while we're there, that can be utilized. So that in the event that there's an issue with somebody going to jail, whatever the case is, none of us want to go to jail, it could be utilized. Outside of that, the only other person who has received any money out of that account. Well, I'm going to let you all do that. I'm going to let y'all come up with that. I have also been the only person from the very beginning stating, let's release the ledgers. I believe in transparency. Let's release the ledgers. Jedediah stated that he sat down with the attorney, whatever the case is, and he does have the ledgers. And I am aware that Alicia just went on live. I was told that she stated that I have not turned over the money as of yet. Bull. Jedediah had everything that was in those accounts yesterday. You know, beautiful thing about it is, in the event that Jedediah chooses to respond, whatever the case is, doesn't even matter. Like, this is my one and done. Because ultimately, I'm going to speak my truth. And I battled this for some time. I was quiet for a very long time because I had hopes. That this is something that could be reconciled for the greater good of the cause. And then I said, okay, let me be quiet because there is actually work that is being done. But no, I'm receiving, and let me see if I can get into my phone because I'm on my baby's phone. I am receiving all types of inboxes of shit saying that Sheena's a fraud. Not going to work. Utilize somebody's donations that they sent and stated that I was removing funds. Nator, ask Sheena about the rest. I told you, she ain't giving up access to the Freedom Fund. Trying to throw me up under the bus. She got receipts just in case I lie. And the first time I was aware, that Natora was online doing this craziness, online, was literally yesterday during a live when you all stated that she did a live. See, I don't pay attention. I don't think about these heifers. I'm busy living my life. And I realize that I am the only one who is employed. You're right. We don't have jobs. Ain't got no job. I have a whole career. And I'm the only one with one. So what I can't do is I cannot allow people to attempt to defame and slander my damn name. That's not going to happen. And I think that's what they were banking on. I really do. I believe that is what she was banking on, what Samantha was banking on, what even Jedediah was banking on at this point. Because anytime you see this going on and you don't say anything to clear my name, and I ask you, well, is it the truth? Did she lie? And he states, well, she was given some misinformation. That's not going to rock with me. Hold on. I'm not going to put nobody else out there. But the same day that entire video was made in that backyard attempting to discredit me as a leader, I received this. Individual wanting to know who, why this was approved, because it's negative. I said, where is it? They say in the group. Said Jedediah accepted it. They said who approved it? Hold on. But because he's not used to running groups, he doesn't realize that as an admin, you can check admin activity. He's accepting the negative stuff in the group, not me. More negative posts. See, the thing is, Anything that I've received, I keep my receipts. It's necessary. I keep them. I keep them. What I won't have people slandering my name. I won't. I will not. So that's my piece. You know, it is what it is. And I could really care less at this point what anybody has to say about Shyla, Sheena, Michelle, MF, and James. Because I know who I am. I know what I got into it for. And understand something. This is only the beginning for me. I will continue on. I will continue helping my community. I will continue helping anybody that I can. I do not allow the devil to detour me from my purpose. Won't happen. Will not happen. So, my best friends are all on here saying, forget y'all. Forget y'all people. Whoever got something negative to say, let me also say this. I realize it's not going to be received well by everybody. I don't really care. At this point, I speak my truth. I will continue to speak my truth. Regardless of who likes it, who doesn't like it. What you choose to do with it, that is on you. But one thing that will never happen is, and I'm going to be very clear on this, when you come for me, you better have your receipts. Because I, unlike you and whoever else, I will sue the shit out your ass. I promise you that. I will gladly do that. So, there you have it. I don't think it's necessary to invite anybody else on to join into this party, because we already know there are enough haters out there. It is what it is. There are going to be people who love me. There are going to be people who love me. There are going to be people who hate me. And vice versa. It'll be the same for Jed. And if you choose to continue following that, continue following it. You have been informed. You have truly been informed. We're good. We're good. I am going to digress at this point and go back to taking care of my sick daughter. I hate that I even had to take a break to deal with this craziness, but it was necessary. And I hear that there's a whole phone conference going on right now with Samantha talking about get rid of the Jezebel. I don't know who that is. I ain't never been nobody's Jezebel, but Jezebel was synonymous with being with false prophets. I think that's you. I don't play with false prophets. I don't play with those that prey upon people. Not P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y. And as far as Notori is concerned, with her throwing out all that BS, that's defamation, sweetie. And like I told her, to her face, or whatever the case, not to her face, but on the phone, look up Shyla, look up Sheena, look up Michelle, look up my mama, look up my daddy. It don't matter. Sheena is good. Sheena is good. Sheena will continue to be good. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And perhaps, if she spent more time actually worrying about her child and not me, she'd be in a much better situation. But I'm going to get back to my kids. So, all right, guys.